If I went to my boss and I told my boss I figured out how to fix this complicated piece of machinery, I'm going to give it a statin drug, my boss would fire me. No, he actually wants the equipment to be fixed right and running. And to do that, you have to find the root problem of the machine. And these are very complex machines. There's many systems involved. And that's really the same way our bodies are. Just as these machines have all kinds of feedback devices to tell you what's going on, our bodies has the exact same thing. All kinds of feedback mechanisms, like the thermostat in your house, to tell you and control the temperature of your house.
And how did Dr. Wyckoff help you sort all that out?
Well, he did a series of blood tests and saliva tests and urine tests that if you went to your regular doctor, he wouldn't even know what they were for. Probably has never heard of those. And he knew I had deep-seated fatigue, unrelenting. I'd wake up in the mornings totally unrefreshed. So he's checking a lot of things. He suspects a lot of things like hormonal imbalance and especially thyroid and possibly adrenal dysfunctions. And so he checked all those things, and he found that I'm hypothyroid, so I have low thyroid production of the thyroid hormones. And he checked my levels and the balances of my steroid hormones, which is the hormones like testosterone and estrogen. Men have estrogen, and DHEA and androstenedione and all these different hormones. And it's important. These hormones, they're the commanders that tells all 100 trillion cells in your body what to do. It's the chiefs. If you don't have your hormones in proper balance and levels, then the cells really are just running around without being directed on what to do. And you become ill in many different ways, and these illnesses eventually could even lead to worse illnesses like heart disease, cancers, stuff like that. So it's good to catch this stuff as early as you can. Dr. Wyckoff has allowed me to feel much better, and I've actually lost 30 pounds on going on a special diet that he had after he found out I had a yeast infection called Candida albicans in the gut, in the intestinal tract. I probably got that possibly from improper diet, and the microflora in the gut was imbalanced and allowed the yeast to take over. And Dr. Wyckoff, one of the first things he checked was for the gut. The health of the body emanates out of the gut oftentimes. When I've gone to my regular family doctor, they like to check, they're real focused on checking certain things like cholesterol and various things that they can treat with drugs. But when you tell your family doctor that you have this extreme fatigue, they run these tests and they come back and say, well, you've got high cholesterol, and they put you on a cholesterol drug. I didn't go on the drug, but they couldn't really find any cause for the fatigue because they and their insurance companies really don't do the tests that you need to have done. And they're not allowed to do them because the insurance companies won't pay for those tests. And Dr. Wyckoff, he immediately would check, for example, when a functional medicine doctor like Dr. Wyckoff, he checked my thyroid function, and he found that the TSH, the thyroid stimulating hormone that commands the thyroid to produce thyroid hormone, was too high. And when you go to a regular doctor, their reference range for your thyroid hormone is so wide that they don't collect anybody, they don't catch anybody that's really sick unless they've really diseased on the high end or the low end. Whereas in functional medicine, Dr. Wyckoff has a much more narrow range. And if you're outside of that range, then yes, you are hypo or hyperthyroid, but you just haven't become diseased yet, so the regular allopathic medical system doesn't pick that up because their reference ranges are way too wide. And that's just one example of many that where the reference ranges in allopathic medicine is designed to catch disease, not really designed to catch dysfunction. And we oftentimes, especially me, and I know many other people I've talked with, we feel just absolutely terrible. We're not diseased, but we have dysfunction. And I had it so acutely that I had to leave a job I absolutely loved. And I had to start studying on my own because my regular allopathic family doctor wasn't being able to find anything that he could see wrong. And after I studied on my own, I bumped into the Wyckoff Wellness Center. That's right. And I came here very excited with high hopes, and Dr. Wyckoff has fulfilled those hopes extremely well. Another thing Dr. Wyckoff has been seeing me on is heavy metal evaluation. And heavy metals is ubiquitous, it's in our environment, it's all over, and it's also in the amalgam fillings of our teeth. They like to call those silver amalgams, but really they're 50% mercury. And mercury is one of the most toxic substances, natural substances, known to man other than irradiated radiation. And I don't believe that that has any business being in my mouth, but I decided to have my amalgam fillings out because I thought it's one more thing I would like to eliminate from causing my fatigue. And there's a lot of scientific research now, irregardless of what the dental associations would have you believe. There's a lot of science easily you can reach on the internet and elsewhere that shows how dangerous these amalgam fillings are. They're outgassing all the time. And so Dr. Wyckoff is treating me concurrently with the amalgam removal with this chelation. And it's an IV liquid that you take into your vein, and it helps to capture these heavy metals that's in the body and get bind those up and excrete them out of the body. And the chelation therapy has been an integral part of this whole process that I've embarked upon in removing my amalgam fillings, and also trying to keep, once you get those amalgams out in that process, even though a biological dentist does this, and it's a pretty rigorous protocol that they use to try and keep any mercury from getting into your system, but also it may help cause some mercury to be dislodged into the body, and Dr. Wyckoff is treating that with the chelation therapy, doing the calcium chelation.
You've made a lot of changes in your life. Has it been worth it?
Well, I've made a lot of changes, and I can say definitely it's been worth it because I feel so much better. And my wife isn't saying anymore. She used to say, "I want my husband back." And she's not said that now for a few months. So I've been, since June, I've been embarking on this pathway with Dr. Wyckoff, and I've come so far in just 6 months, and I feel so much better, and I have so much more energy that, yes, it's been well worth it. Every bit of the effort and the money and everything has been well worth this investment of time and energy.